Welcome back to the coffee table. Welcome to the show, our show. We take a couple of minutes every day and we talk about comic books. Cheers. Usually, I'd be thumping a book like this. We're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. And, yeah. So we're trying to get away from that. But this is the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days. This was a hardcover coffee table book given to us about 2 decades ago by one of our best friends. It's been surfing my coffee table ever since, giving us a constant source of comic book shop style conversations. And it's been great training wheels. And we use this book for its intended purpose. We open up to today's date, January the 11th. We're going to look at some comic book art of an antediluvian age. That means before the Noah flood. You know what I mean? And in the golden age. Yeah. In this romanticized, ago. A different era. And, we're going to look at some art. We're going to read the blurb, and then we talk about comic books. And we're going to wean ourselves off of this book. I wanted to do something called a January redo. And because, on this date, last year, we made a 5-minute and 22-second long video that got 8 views. And I just think that we can do better, that we are doing better, that we are naturally surpassing that. So why not, because maybe, I'm pretty sure that maybe if you're just tuning in now, you could go back and watch that old episode, or maybe we can just hit it again real quick, and because we've come a long way, we've got our footing, and we've got traction. And too bad it's not Flash that we're talking about, because that would make a good Flash intro segue. But this one is art by Ben Fenton and story by Ben Fenton, art by Bill O'Connor. From O'Sullivan, right? Oh, don't do the brogue. Irish people, the Irish get really upset about Yanks doing the brogue. I grew up in a house full of brogues. I'm only second generation Irish American. My grandparents and all that generation, I miss them so. You're never too old to miss your grandparents and your old aunties. And there are no brogues left. There might be one brogue or two left. There might be, and but when they're gone, the brogues in my family. So forgive me to any Irish who are offended when I slip into the occasional brogue. I mean, I've gotten some heat for that before, but it's the sound of my childhood, and maybe I'm doing it badly. Perhaps, as my grandma would say, "Kehi will do," and you would say, "Denegdema." And slunch. Cheers. Let me wet my whistle. I'm going to read this blurb. But it's January the 11th. Story by Ben Fenton. Art by Bill O'Connor. From All American Comics. Issue number 20. November of 1940. It's the Mighty Atom. This is Al Pratt. He was shorter in stature, but a mighty powerhouse of strength and vitality, and we're going to find out a bit more about the Atom. Now, this character changes over time, especially in the Silver Age. We get the Silver Age Atom. Pika, what are you, asleep at the wheel? You were what? Oh, you wanted to. You didn't know what was going on with any format changes. No, we're not. We're just tinkering. We're moving on. We're just getting on with it. With the Atom comics. Let's look at the Atom as a character name. The original Atom, Al Pratt. The Atom. I'm reading this from the wiki. The Atom is a name shared by 5 superheroes appearing in American comic books published by DC Comics. So this is Al Pratt, the first Atom. The object of much ridicule while at college, Because of his small size, Al Pratt, through a period of physical training under Joe Morgan, an old fight trainer, has developed a perfect body. Kind of like Cecil. He now has tremendous strength that is unbelievable in one so small. Al has returned to college, where he is still the butt of ridicule. Hello, little man. Well, if it isn't the fugitive from kindergarten. But Al decides to keep his mighty strength a secret, so that he may carry on his dual role as the Atom. And look at that, look at that design, that character design. Well, it follows like strongman stuff of the age, His first appearance was in All-American Comics number 19, the issue right before this, of October of 1940. And the second Atom appeared in Showcase number 34, October of 1961. Who is this second Atom of you speaking? It's Dr. Ray Palmer, the Atom that you might know from the Super Friends and from Justice League of America, the guy who can shrink from normal human size down to a subatomic level. And that's really helpful in small spaces too. He can get into a computer and fix some damaged circuitry, things like that, like reestablish, life support in the satellite. Things like that. That's a super strength. And he's a physicist, a scientist. So he's, he invents stuff. He invented the technology that shrinks him. And that's a really interesting superpower. Yeah, so he literally, I love it that he can shrink down to the size of a photon and of an atom itself or something, and travel by hitching rides on photons at the near speed of light. Something like that. I mean, it's a comic book. I mean, it's not science. It's just, but it sounds so cool, doesn't it? I mean, so yes, let's continue to read just a little bit from the wiki, and then we're gonna get to setting that timer. Trying to just. I noticed I was getting a little long in the tooth there. I apologize, and thank you for sticking with the episodes. If you like longer formats, let me know in the chat, or let me know in the comment section too. But I used to do a shorter show. I think 20 minutes, around 20 minutes is the best format for me, for you. I think I'm pretty sure. Yet I'm really comfortable doing a 20-minute show. I like that. So if it goes a little over 20 minutes, I'm not really too worried. But like the other day, that went 27 minutes. I'm like, oh, geez, my poor audience. Well, thank you so much for tuning in regardless. But Ray Palmer had a successor. He had a legacy character. His name was Ryan Choi, and he debuted in the DCU's Brave New World, which was about Infinite Crisis. And so Ryan Choi began, who's, I believe, kind of visually inspired by DC publisher Jim Lee. Yeah, who's Korean American. So Ryan Choi debuted. So there are, like, if you see two Atoms in current comic books, and one of them is definitely Asian, that's Dr. Ryan Choi. He's a student of, I believe he was a student of Ray Palmer and the inheritor of the mantle of the Atom for a little while. And then Ray Palmer inevitably came back. But now, we have two Atoms, we've got maybe three Flashes, and there's definitely two Batman, there's definitely two Superman, there's definitely two Wonder Womans right now. And that's the going thing these days. Just duplicate superheroes, And but also, you have the original, and then you have an elaboration, I guess. So that could be a trend. Let's see if these characters stick. Let's see if these characters can get. There are two Spider-Mans. There are two Wolverines. There could be two Captains Marvel. There definitely are two Captains Marvel if you come to think about it, and always have been since 1967. because we do this show and we know our comics lore and our comics history. And but it's been so much fun, learning more and more about comic books. I love the Atom. It was always cool to see the Golden Age Atom, but he was just a strong man. I mean, there wasn't anything too, super spectacular about it. Initially, okay, we're reading from the wiki. Maybe throw some. Thanks, man. Initially, he had no superpowers. Instead, he was a diminutive college student and later a physicist who was depicted as a tough guy, a symbol of all the short kids who could still make a difference. And Pratt was a founding member of the Justice Society of America, later gaining limited super strength and an energy-charged atomic punch. He died in the charge against Extant during the Zero Hour. The Zero Hour is the 1994 direct sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths, trying to sew up some loose ends left in the wake of that universe-ending reboot of the entire DC catalog. Yeah, so these we continually, we've been revisiting Crisis on Infinite Earths. The Crisis on Infinite Earths has been about 37 years now, and we keep coming back to that. That shows the strength of that idea. And so we had Multiverse, and then we had then there was a decision to give up on that idea and go to one streamlined universe, and then over time, the Multiverse naturally comes back because it's about divergent storytelling and about being able to have alternate universes and to have maybe like future versions that, a future that doesn't come to be, and these are exciting books. So yeah, we're going to do some bagging. So yeah, what my number one comic book of 2022 was Jeremy Adams, The Flash. I think is it Eduardo Pastorin? Fernando Pastorin did most of the work on the pencils. Great work. I mean, this is really fun. I blame this on having continuity of tone, keeping the tone of the title. Flash Volume 2 debuted in 1987. After the Crisis on Infinite Earths, Barry Allen had died saving the universe. His sidekick Wally West had grown up and became the Flash. After his mentor had fallen, he picked up the Standard. Here we go. Let's keep these in the bag as long as possible, Sully. So yeah, we figured out in yesterday's episode that these might not be Mylars, and I think I need better bags. This was $8.99 for a pack of 100, and I've seen. I did a little RTFM. That means read the manual, and I said Mylar comic bags, and those ones go for about $30 a pack. As my ma likes to say, live and learn, kid. Live and learn. And she got that from her Irish mother, my grandma from Sligo. And so I've decided to double up on the newer issues. I think for me, the paramount importance is to keep their keep them pristine for as long as they can. So I'm going to double up on them. I'm going to use a board. I'm going to use a bag and 2 issues and some Scotch tape, and we're going to just start taking better care of our comic books. And that's that. Will it retain its cover value? Hopefully so. I mean, hopefully this will be worth $3.99 or whatever $3.99 is worth today, 20 years from now. So that would be nice. So we got that going on. And I guess it doesn't matter at this point if I'm going to be doubling up against Shiny Side and matte side. One side is coated. Yes. And will these be in here long enough for the acid, if there's any acid in the cardboard, to do the damage that it's supposed to do? I don't know. We're going to figure this out. And we're going to talk to other hobbyists. We're going to talk to other YouTube comic creators. It sounds like there's a conversation there. And it's about husbandry. It's about having and keeping and maintaining your collection. So I don't see anything wrong with that right now. I mean, I did try to put six issues of Flash, 4 issues of Flash, 2 issues of Impulse, if you want to split hairs, in one of these with a backing board. And of course, it's split right down the side. I mean, durr. As we say in South Boston, Massachusetts, durr. Here we go. Alrighty. So hence, we're beginning our bagging and boarding. I'm going to start with all my most recent comic books. And we're going to just do those first. And the Flash, yes, this Flash comic book by Jeremy Adams and Company was my #1 pick of 2022. I had a great time talking to Wes and Jim from Weird Science, Wes from Thinking Critical, over at Wakazashi Gray's house, Wakazashi's Tea House, on Sunday. That was a great conversation where we had a 2-hour-long comic book conversation, and the 4 of us YouTube creators got to jam, and we got to gush about what were our favorites of 2002. And so my top 5 was a little I kind of cheated on 5 and 3 a little bit, because I made them about my personal experience, which I think ranks. It's not it was just me being me, and that's that. I was just, but let's see. Let's get some more bags. And let's talk about my #2 title of 2002. I have a board. These ones are pretty thick. This corner got a little dinged up already. You see that? Wonder if that spine is okay. If that corner got a little dinged up too. There we go. Yeah. Those are 2 points off the 10-point scale. Right. Exactly. It's yeah. But this is Night of the Ghoul by Scott Snyder and Francesco Francavilla. And those two have been entertaining me for a very long time. So I am going to only put one of each in each one. And hopefully this will retain its value. First printings. These are $4.99 each on, it's a 3-issue story. Yeah, I just bought these. So it's like, these, are they coming out of the, do they come out of the, I have to be better about, I have to be choosier. But this was the last copy of issue 3. It was on the shelf. I mean, so, you know what? I have to be fair and just say, like, yeah, that's a point out of the. There are like 25 criteria of the 10-point scale in grading comics. I'm going to learn them. We're going to learn them all together. It's going to be fun. We're going to learn more and more about comics, about publishing, about our beloved hobby here. And I love comic books. I love floppies. So this is nice. I mean, the page quality, the cover quality is really nice on this. It was, like I said, $4.99 an issue. Limited series, 1 of 3. So this is a creator-owned title. And these two have done, they did Afterlife with Archie. We've talked about that. Actually, no, that was Franca Cavilla. Had nothing to do with Scott Snyder. These two did the New 52's Swamp Thing, the beginning of that. These two did one of my favorite Batman stories called the Black Mirror. Switched off art with the artist known as Jock, and this was a Dick Grayson Batman story, but it made the bad guy was Jim Gordon Jr. Oh, see that right there? I can see that now in the light. That's a spine crack. Ah, this is issue 2, and there was another copy of that. So, yeah, so this cardstock stuff is unforgiving sometimes. It can be pristine, but dude, that's unforgiving. Oh, that's a ding. We gotta come up with some terminology. Please don't take any of my terminologies. Yeah, if you get upset with my terminologies, I don't know what to say. I mean, well, let me know. Like, is that fair to say? I mean, I don't know. What's it? Like a bumper. You got a ding in the bumper. You got a scratch in your paint. Yeah. You got a ding on your bumper. I mean, that looks like a ding. I mean, what is there a more proper terminology to be using that doesn't sound like that could be used against me? In a. Oh, hey, turkey's done. Well, guess what? We've been talking about comic books, and yeah, we were going to talk about Night of the Ghoul, which is my my number 2 pick of 2022. If Jeremy Adams' The Flash was number 1, then Night of the Ghoul was number 2 on that numerated list and this top 5 countdown that we had on Sunday, which made me, really think about it and be like, okay, let's go through all of our 2002 funny books, which I have a stack. And guess what? Now I'm just going to board them, I'm going to bag them, and I'm going to box them. And hopefully they'll retain or gain in their value by being well kept, well maintained, and respected. Yeah, that's that. So thank you so very much for tuning in today. We've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn that page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, daily, talking about comic books just for a couple of minutes in a day, reminding ourselves about the power of escapism. Let's get lost and put aside our worries just for a few minutes. I'm a professional chef, a tradesman, line cook. I make delicious, nutritious, and beautiful food. I got a lot to offer you if you want to improve your home game at food. I have a playlist for that, and it's going to be right over here in a second. I'm probably poking it right now. Thank you so very much for tuning in. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are the most important part of this show, our conversation. Keep those comments coming. And if I can make the live chat at 3 o'clock upon premiere, I love hanging out with you guys. Seriously. Seeing you guys and gals and anyone in the grand spectrum in between. Seeing y'all in the live chat is a wonderful blessing. I'm so grateful. Cheers. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you tomorrow in those funny pages. Cheers. Bye-bye.